Okay, I have had this comic for months, and I just keep putting it off. And I didn't even read it till today. And, yeah, it, kind of sucks ass. So, let me just get into why this even exists. Captain America was dead. They needed to have a Captain America. Marvel chose Sam Wilson because, you know, controversy. It's good for business, ostensibly. Gets people fired up. Gets people interested that otherwise aren't. And then they're like, let's choose a black man because that's going to piss off some people. I mean, some people this probably really pissed off. But I think they could have gone an interesting way with it. I think you could have had Sam Wilson be like, look, America needs a Captain America. I'm going to step into that role. I get it. I understand the logic. But I think a more interesting way to approach it would be for Sam Wilson to say, look, we need a Captain America type figure. And I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do that as the Falcon. Because I don't want to tarnish Steve's legacy. But I mean, you know, like Captain America, it's a title. It's like Luke Cage, forget the Power Man stuff. Forget that. He doesn't go by that anymore. Luke Cage is his name. You can't have another Luke Cage. But Captain America, technically it's a title. I mean, we got 8,000 Spider-Mans running around, crawling around. I can't put any posters up on my wall because they're just fucking Spider-Men, Spider Ladies, Spider Pigs, Spider Kids. They're just fucking everywhere. I got no wall space. They're everywhere. It's an epidemic. But I'm just saying that it could have gone a cool way because, you know, Sam Wilson, he has history in the comics and a little bit in the movies, but let's be honest, he's like a clean slate. They could have went really cool with this, but Nick Spencer, I think Nick Spencer at his best is a so-so writer. Like, honestly, it's either like not good or passable. And I don't really know. I know people hate the Nazi Captain America thing, but I don't know if it's because it's written badly, or if they just don't like the idea of Captain America's legacy being tarnished like that. I don't know. I'm never going to read Secret Empire. Suck my dick. So you know what? Let's get into this. Let's look at this cover. This book is drawn by Daniel Acuna, who's currently doing Black Panther right now, and you're going to see some parallels real quick. So this cover's okay. It's like muted colors. I don't understand the muted colors. When in doubt, just go with primary colors. People can see primary colors from a mile away. Ray Charles is blinded by a comic book cover with primary colors on it. And you know what, for the most part, this is a pretty good example of foreshortening. Like all of this, you know, as you get further away, it gets smaller. But this thing, this fucking arm starts off the size of a fucking monster truck tire and just continues being that size. So, it's a number one. It's a controversial thing. I mean, it isn't. And it isn't. I mean, I've been into comics for a couple of years. I knew that this was happening, but I wasn't reading single issues. So I was like, fuck it. But, you know, oh, God, let's just get into this. I can't put it off any longer. And then we see, oh, look, it's T'Challa. Literally, Daniel Acuna, he draws Sam Wilson and T'Challa the exact same way. Just like to point that out. And he's, oh God, look at the detail. This is a number one. This is an issue. I should look up the sales, or the shipped figures on this one. It's probably like 500,000, but I mean, how many of those really sold, if we're going to be honest? So we see him, he's at the airport, he's trying to get through. He's talking about, you know, he loves America, but once the euphoria gets, and once you get past the romance and the euphoria, you're really all about the work you put in. And some days, you work harder than others. And then I just would like to point out, he's just violently fucking shaking this stuff into the overhead bin, making quite the ruckus. Maybe Sam Wilson's a little bit of an attention whore. And we see he's trapped between two blonde white people, the worst white people of all time. And they're talking about their shitty trip. He's in Phoenix. And I just would like to point out, never, ever, ever be a Phoenix Suns fan. Even if you live in Phoenix, it's not a good look. You're going to have a terrible time. I know like 2 seasons ago, some kid, Booker or something, he scored all the points, but guess what? The Suns still lost. And you're like, Lindsey, what about 90s Charles Barkley Phoenix Suns. It's like, no, you can't even be a Phoenix Suns fan then. You just got to be a Charles Barkley fan. And then you can be a Charles Barkley fan, but you can't be a Phoenix Suns fan. It's just not a good look. Anytime a player I like gets traded to the Suns, they're dead to me. It's over. So we see these guys, they're talking about their trip in Phoenix, which, what? Who goes to Phoenix other than old Jewish people? I don't get it. But then they realize by doing this, which this is genuinely fucking hilarious. They're like, hey, we recognize you, black man. You're one of the blacks we know. Are you the leader of Wakanda? And then he grabs these, like, fucking bottle caps and holds them up to his fucking face. And he's like, shit, it's Captain America. Really, you know, in his mind, he was like, the Falcon. But, you know what, this shit is fucking funny. And we see earlier he's doing some battle stuff with a thing with Hydra, and it's very uninteresting. And Misty Knight is also on his team because black people, they belong together. Blacks belong with other blacks. And she does some black power splits that really represent the motherland. And I think it was so black and it was so splits that I think I got a little bit of the sickle cell anemia. So then we see Crossbones is there, and they're, what scheme are they got running? And it's actually pretty damn good. It's actually a pretty good scheme. We see that they took one of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s top scientists, convince him he's being, like, why does it never want to focus on shitty stuff? Convinced him he's being transferred to a hush-hush secret project, then drop him on a decommissioned helicarrier you store full of Hydra guys pretending to be S.H.I.E.L.D. guys. No torture, no brainwashing, just watch the guy whistle while he works. That's good. That's some act like you belong shit. And I'm into it. But then Sam says, I like it, very Ocean's 11. Didn't that shit come out like 20 years ago? Sam, what's the last movie you watched? Jesus, I mean, I got nothing against old movies. I watched Lost Boys, I watched Heathers, I watched Adventures in Babysitting today. I'm on an 80s streak right now, and I will not be stopped, but come on. So they're about to tangle by, you know, puffing their chests out, jumping at each other, and these guys are ripping on the fact that Captain America is riding coach, which, yeah, he should at least be first class. I mean, even if he's black, he deserves first class. He's got captain in his title. He should be in the cockpit. And we see that the, what's the politically correct term for this profession? Sky bitch? Yeah, the sky bitch is giving him a, You know white bitches do that. I've actually received this maybe once or twice in my life. Because in the South, there are people who think you need to be prim and proper all the time. And obviously, I do not. I can dress up my language. I can act proper. But I gotta want to care about that first impression. And most of the time, I don't. So I've been on the receiving end. And I don't give a shit. And we see, oh God, these fucking parallels. Look at this. All white people are the same, but let's look at this Maria Hill. Holy shit. What is going on? And then also look at the detail here. Daniel Acuna working on a number one. A number one huge controversial. Will sell 1 billion copies issue, and he's going for it. This Maria Hill looks like a fucking 90s Winona Ryder was hit on both sides with 2 preheated irons that singed her hair in a way that she looks like Ralph Macchio. She's got Ralph Macchio's haircut, and she's got an iron face. What the fuck? So he's complaining, and we cut back to he's on the helicarrier, and Maria's giving him the cold shoulder. She's like, basically, hey, get the fuck out. And he's like, I didn't even get a thank you. What the fuck, man? Is exactly like that. Exactly. And they're just having it out, and she's like, look, you're not a government agent. You can do whatever you want. Get the fuck out of here. I hate you because you're black. You know, all white people, if they don't like a black person, it's because they're all inherently racist. I hate Maya Angelou. And I tell myself it's not because of race. I tell her it's because of her writing and the trauma it's caused me, but it's obviously because she's a black lady. I mean, come on. I gotta be honest with myself. So, and then he has, oh god, yeah, I have to show this. He has this huge, I love the coloring on this. He's like, why am I Captain America, blah, blah, blah. And we see, he thought it would be easy, get yourself on a team. And then we see this, maybe a parade once around. Just look at this image. When I first read this, I didn't even notice this. When I first saw this panel, I just saw him standing there, and I was like, that's not a good way to stand at a parade. I mean, there's such a thing as a parade wave. Samuel, you should have that shit down. But then, upon flipping through it a second time, I see we have a very homosexual man here. I almost said faggot, but that would be homophobic of me. I didn't call this man a faggot. Let the record be clear. And we see he's got the hot pants, he's got a sailor hat on. Marriage equality. When I think marriage equality, I'm thinking this guy right here. Who's got like a pink gun holster on his nipples. Certainly. Sam, how did you even get this gig? You can say no to stuff. You can say no to stuff when you're Captain America. But then everything had started dying down. He thought he was going to bring everybody together. Black people, white people, red people, blue man group, and then we don't even have a red man group. We just have red man. One. Because he's black and they get less. They get less group. I don't know. But eventually he calls a press conference that's gonna blow everyone's fucking mind. And it ends with the fucking wackest shit. This whole thing is whack as fuck. Let it be known. But I do want to point this out. Well, this lady, she's like, well, you're sure as heck fire not my Captain America. So I thought Maria Hill was hating on the Captain America mantle because of the whole Nazis thing. But this lady is like, look, I got a Captain America and it ain't you, buddy. And I think it's because you got a little bit too melanin in your skin. I mean, this lady could be Italian, but the way she's speaking, they don't let Italians speak that way whatsoever. So, and then she's like, I only like your bird. And then we see the bird in, what is this, the undercarriage? Red Wings approval, still sky high, 93%. I mean, he's not having that good a time. And then we see these two little girls are like, say it. And I'm like, okay, what's his catchphrase going to be? Black power. Is it going to be, I'll help anybody? Is it going to be blacks and whites? Let's form together and make a caramel filling. Or something about interracial porn. I don't know. What's it going to be? Take it to the hotline. Oh my fucking god. This whole thing reads as some 80s, 90s in living color thing. Like, do people know the movie Blank Man? I grew up watching the fuck out of Blank Man. I haven't seen it in probably 20 years, but you know what? Love it. I love everything the Wayans do. But I refuse to watch any new Wayans stuff because I don't want to taint the memories. So at his press conference, he's like, look, you're probably going to be seeing me a lot, and I'm not working for the government anymore. I'm going to work for the people. But that's why we've set up a hotline. Nick Spencer, ladies and gentlemen, if you see injustice in your community, if you see a wrong that needs to be righted, send us a video message, a voicemail, or a social media post, and we'll respond. We're in this together. Be the one in your neighborhood, on the street, that takes a stand. Take it to the hotline. Ooh, that was fucking, dude, that was sick. I'm not a good singer at all, but you know what? Take it to the hotline. That's a good In Living Color scare right there. You can have that past comedy show from 30 years ago. You can have that one, Kenan. But this shit is fucking parody. You're a superhero, and you tell me to call. The whole reason, like, look. I don't really like the police. Every interaction I've had with the police, negative. And I lose money. But ostensibly this is what they do, right? You call them and they come and fix things. That's what they're supposed to do. Does it work? That remains to be seen, but we already have this. And then the opposition of that is like, don't call the cops. It takes too long for them to get here. Let's get our Second Amendment rights going. But this shit is fucking, like, this is your grand plan? This is your grand plan? Samuel, set up a hotline. And then there's a big panel, 2-page spread of people using the hotline. Most of it is for just like minor inconveniences, which, yeah, you have a hotline. A hotline is like the web series of, it indicates how well your thing is doing. If you got a web series, I hate to tell you, it could be the best web series of all time. It still is a fucking web series nobody gives a shit about. So we see Misty Knight here. She's looking like Foxy Brown, very powerful. I mean, it's a good look. I mean, I can't even front on that one. But apparently, you know, they're hooking up. Once again, Daniel Acuna fucking going for it with the art. And it's inferred that they've been hooking up, and then we get some stuff happens, and the whole reason he goes to Phoenix is somebody calls in, and her grandson is missing. He's not a coyote. He's a Samaritan. He's a person that helps people crossing the border. He gives them food. He gives them water. Seems like an okay guy, and I'm not even gonna get into the politics of illegal immigration. All I can say is if I lived in a country that sucked, and there's a country over here that sucks less, what am I gonna do? But apparently he's been missing, so they fly to Phoenix to go there, and also, but he has to make a pit stop and ask his pastor brother for money because their fucking operation, they spend all the money on the hotline. So please take it to the hotline. That they don't have money, that's why he's flying commercial. And it's just like, of course his brother is a pastor, God forbid. Did you know that every black person is a Christian? And if it's a black man who is involved in his family, he's a pastor. Or he's a deacon, or he's something of that nature. So then we finally cut to the end where something is fucking happening. And we see, ooh, God, we got these evil white people who are confronting the illegal immigrants. And this guy says, we don't want any trouble. Which, you know, I've seen enough action movies to know that this guy, exactly, he wants some fucking trouble. But you know what? These guys, they don't want their disease. They don't want their crime. They don't want any of that. And they don't want these to pay for these fucking welfare people while wearing this. While wearing that, okay? These cobra-looking motherfuckers, okay? And then Nick Spencer, he drops this. Also, you know how you make me press a 1 for English at the beginning of every call to my satellite provider? That is not... Like, that's your beef? That's your beef, dude? Have you had Mexican food? Mexican food alone is enough for you to just bypass this. This is like some more parody shit. Like, are you for real? This isn't even a complaint among racists, I bet. I mean, I'm not hanging out with them. Sorry, racists. I don't want to know your thoughts. And apparently they call the Sons of the Serpents, and they're gonna take him down. And then Sam, he shows up, and they call him Captain Socialism, because I don't know why, if that's a callback to something. Oh my God. And he's like, look, vigilante mobs going after unarmed people. It's not so good, so he fights them for like a second, and then S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up and they arrest him, and it's just, what the fuck. See, this is the kind of shit that makes me feel like I can be a writer. This kind of shit is like, look, here's what you do. Captain America, you could have him, send him out on diplomatic missions, have him helping Americans in other countries. Send him to Tangier with a spear. That's not racist. I just got into death grips, and that's a lyric. But I'm just saying, send him to a place like Morocco or something. There are tons of expats who live there. And I learned that from Anthony Bourdain. R.I.P., dog. But I'm just saying, there's like way more interesting things you can do with this instead of being like illegal immigration. Boom. There we go. It's just like, all these stereotypes and all this shit just is so uninspiring and like the whole reason this comic exists, right? To cause controversy. Marvel knew what they were doing. You'd think they would go the extra effort to make it good. You think somebody would be like, hey, let's try? And they're like, no, we got a black man in a Captain America suit. We done did it, folks. We've done all that needs to be done. Just imagine if, like, you were a black kid and you're like, yeah, Captain America's black. That's what I want. That's the market they're going after, even though that market doesn't even really exist from what I can tell. But then you read this and you're like, oh, And then that kid would take it to the hotline.